What's up, boys and girls? It's your girl Ericka from the Class and Con blog. Come in, drop your city and state in the chat. He got a good one, and we're gonna go ahead and get ready to break it down. Today is gonna be a full hour, but I think it's gonna be. So, one of the biggest questions we get in our consulting calls, and my affiliate partners and our relationships, they go, Ericka, what are people's goals? And I'd be looking at them, I'd be like, I don't know. Everyone's goals are different. And why do we say this? Most Americans are stressed out. They're thinking very short term. What can I do right now? What can I do in the next 30 days? How can I jump over there? How can I go over there and do this? And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's your own personal goals? And sometimes people don't have an answer. They just don't. So drop your city and state in the chat when you come in. But the biggest thing is, how do I get there? If you're stressed out, this is a perfect time to just go park your car by the park and get a sheet of paper and write out what do you want to do, right? Because honestly, first things first is exact numbers. What's the exact cost of your dreams? What is the exact cost of your current debt? What is your exact position? Where are you going to be in 6 months? Where are you going to be in 2 years, right? A lot of us are on a low information diet. Just plain and simple. We're on a low information diet. Something happened in the news. We didn't know about it, yada, yada. Maxwell did in a video, and I was laughing because he was like, yeah, y'all live in Dubai the past couple months, but I saw the news. And so, yeah, it's like, it's like most countries are going to hear about American news. Just are. Just the way if you watch CNBC News, you watch Fox Business, you're going to see a lot about London and Europe and the big players. That's it, the big players. You're going to hear big news from Africa and those countries when there's an incident. But you always going to be hearing American news. It's just, we are the big dog. So when people try to play like, oh, I didn't know what was going on, that already tells me everything I need to know about you. I'm on a low information diet. And low information diets work well when you're on cruise control. But most of you are not on cruise control, and you shouldn't be, right? A lot of you are stressed and maxed out because you don't know your numbers. You don't know how to get there. Now, prime example, the survey was showing that 70% of Americans were financially stressed, but 57% of Americans making $100,000 a year were also financially stressed. Where does that come from? That comes from lack of a map, lack of a game plan to get where they're trying to go. That's why they're so stressed out. You can... one day, I think I had 10 people calling my phone at the same hour. Like we had a conflict of calls and schedules. And I'm just looking at the phone and I didn't answer not an SIM call. Because here's the thing. There's no emergency. You're not about to get your foot cut off. Your hand's not about to get cut off. You're not about to lose your house. You're not about to lose your vehicle. The tow truck man isn't outside. You're not going to lose your life if you don't make a rash decision right this moment. That's not what's going to happen. 9 times out of 10, people are stressed for a greater reason. That's why you have all this road rage outside. You're like, dude, I honked because you missed the light. I'm going to beat you up. That has nothing to do with me. Get back in your car before I beat your legs, right? So part of what's been funny to me in the Tech Tuesdays that we've been doing for the past 3 years, and we'll do more. And we're going to have a channel that's just clips from Tech Tuesday because it's all about media. It's all about content. Right? I'll tell people, well, you can make 150K a year. Oh, I don't know if that's worth me switching my job. I don't know if I'm willing to leave and go make 100 to 150,000 a year in tech. And I kind of laugh because I'd be like, 75 million Americans are making 30,500 a year. So what they're trying to tell you is, Ericka, I want to make a lot of money and I don't want to change. I want the hottest bitches, but I don't want to change. I want the most opportunities, but I don't want any change. I don't want to add value to myself. One of the biggest things that we've heard the past couple of years in real estate is add value, add value. What a lot of Americans are telling you is they want to be rich without adding any value, right? And this is why people come from across the border, from all over the world. They'll come here and work 2 to 5 years and be 10 times lapped you because you're trying to figure out how to coast. And that don't work, okay? Now, I was talking to somebody and they were in tech for $145,000 a year, their first job, and they got a $12,000 sign-on bonus. Okay, nice, right? And this sounds extreme. I already know you're gonna say, Ericka, that's extreme. I'll just tell you, they literally saved So let's just do simple math here. I'll bust out the calculator, my other phone over here for simple math, because folks don't want to hear that. Because I don't have numbers on the screen. I get it. It's hard. So 145,000. We're doing this. Don't get. What about credit? What about relax? No, 75 million Americans. So we have 150 million working Americans, and 70 million of those make 30,000. Okay. So this is why when people get on the internet with these arguments with me, and girls be like, "You probably live in your mom's basement," and the guy never responds because he probably lives with his mother. That does actually happen all the time. So anyway, 145,000 a year divided by 12 months. That's 12 grand a month. Let's just divide it by 2. We're keeping it real super simple. That's $6,041. Now, the person I was on the phone with, their whole year, they saved each month about 4 grand and some change a month. That's right, 4 grand. Many people say, no, Ericka, that's not possible. Lifestyle creep, inflation. Listen, if you've been living on 30, 40, 50 a year, and your next job gets you to 100, you literally could just not go crazy and do the same thing. But long story short, they put 50K to the side. Now they did it in a way where they invested in a dividend stock every month or whatever, a couple of them, 2 of them, and then they sold all of them at the end of the year. They already sold them by the time they got on the consult call with me, and that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Nope, that's not the right number, King Angie. It's not the right number. They sold them, and that's fine. And so by the time I talked to them, I said, well, man, you could have took a loan out against them. You could have took a line of credit out against all your stock shares. You didn't have to sell it, but he wanted to do it. So anyway, long story short, he took the 50K and some change from his other personal savings, and he buys a rental. And he was like, man, I feel like I could do more. I could do this. I'm like, relax. You just did something that most Americans won't do. 2 things, really. You saved 50 grand on your brand new job, and then you took the money at the end of the year and invested it. That you're beating most Americans right now, just on that fact. Previous generations in the 80s and 90s could save their money and get 10% returns from the bank, right? From the bank. And so many people are like, well, the bank used to give great returns. Yeah, that was the 80s. That's why I pay attention to markets, right? Now, King E&T put, well, I think 75% make it. That's not accurate data. You're talking about household income. 75% of households make 50K a year. Well, 1 in 3 households make 100K a year. And then on top of that, you have 3 million, or is it 9 million right now? 9 million Americans making 100K a year plus. So the numbers, that we can go crazy deep into the numbers. I'm doing this literally off my phone. I don't have my laptop, so it is what it is, right? So by the time I talk to him, I'm like, dude, just doing those 2 things alone, you're miles ahead of everybody else. You could do this every year for the next 3 years and still be miles ahead, or you could leverage yourself. Take a line out of credit. I mean, you got high income, you're doing pretty well. It's a lot of things you can do. Now, many people are going to talk to you online and on Facebook about creative financing, off-market deals. And there's nothing wrong with reaching for those, but the truth is wholesalers are like dying, right? Wholesalers are drying up because the age of the internet, the AI, the hungry real estate agents running around calling everybody and saying, hey, do you know how much your house is worth? Your house is worth this much. Why would you sell for that, right? So a lot of people are having this inflated sense of how much income or how much their house is truly worth, right? People are asking those things. And the fact remains that that's going to be a hard game. This is why you see, and I've talked about this for years. Yes, I was early, but I'll say it again. When I told y'all a couple years ago that the best thing you could do is go 30 minutes to an hour outside of your downtown city or where you live, and you'll find deals everywhere. This is true, right? This is people who have vacant land. This is people who live a little bit in the country. This is people who are on the edges of town. You know, sometimes they got a good realtor, sometimes they don't. And so they may be more willing to sell, or you may be willing to get more new construction in that area than you could in the inner city. Now, many people don't like that. Many people want to have a win and it be in your face. Now, what does that mean? Most people want to buy a piece of property downtown. They want to buy property in a happening neighborhood, and they want to stunt. They don't want to go show their family a piece of property 30, 40 minutes out of town, right? And get frustrated at the ideal that they may have to do something off market or off to the side. But the truth is having, sorry, 1 second, y'all. Having the opportunity to invest at all is a great deal, right? Hold on 1 second, y'all. People blowing this phone up. I'm trying to turn it down. Can y'all hear that ringing? I hope not. Anyway, sorry, guys. Listen, I thank everybody who has been responding to me about the Detroit thing. I really appreciate that. That's been awesome. Because it'll help me save a plane flight next week, though. Do that. Okay, people make 35K or less online and don't have the skills anymore. They really don't. I work on an hour away in a rural area. It's definitely plain land. Man, Kenny, let me put you this way. If I could go back and there was this 2-acre piece of land I know right now in North Carolina, around the corner from our family, but a good 30 minutes drive. I would have put a duplex, a lower level duplex, and then a fourplex on each side in a U. So the duplex here, and then the 2 fourplexes on the side, and just convert the 2 acres so that there's parking and a little bit of backyard behind, or like a front area where people could eat, some lounge benches, you know, some dug in the ground grills or something. And I would have made money off that design forever. Now, why do I say that? I actually know 2 families who have that exact same design out in Parkton, North Carolina, and I'm like, you know, long term, if you hold stuff long term, 5 to 10 years, it'll really make the difference. But people don't have a map to where they're going, so they get stuck. So part of why am I talking about? Why am I talking about people not being able to get to their destination, Americans stressed out financially? What seems to be the issue? See, everybody's hopped online late. Let's just go there. They hopped online late. They want to sell courses. You know, my digital real estate students, I tell them, if you got a skill, go ahead and sell it, right? But organically, an organic push, let's say you only make 30K a year. All right, you get a couple sales over the year, but you get 30K a year times 10 years. That's $300,000 extra income you put in your pocket. Now, people don't want to hear the 10 years. They want to hear, Ericka, I want to put out a course this year, and I want to sell $1 million of that course. And that's how I'm like, I feel you. I hear you, right? I just finished watching Pace Mobley, and I posted in the community wall about Pace Mobley. He had a $40 million company, right? Well, where did the $40 million come from? They had over 5,000 students spend $8,000 in the mastermind, or whatever you want to call it, his comprehensive real estate course. And again, money was cheap. People were buying lots of courses, not even just a couple years ago. And so some people think it's still that season. No, we're in a different marketplace. And if you're going to market, the truth remains, again, the 1,000 true fans is a true statement. If you guys see, I have this shirt on for Morgan James. I'm not trying to show you my boobs, but it is what it is for Morgan James. I just went to a conference last night, a music concert last night here in Austin, Texas, and Morgan James is killing it. She got all these people from Juilliard on stage. She's doing a show. She's kicking butt. And what ends up happening is, sorry, and they wearing me out today. Wearing me out. What happened is, she was saying what's the most stressful thing about the music industry is once you got dropped from her label, but realizing, oh, now I have to book my own shows, my own tours. I just did a 42-city tour in like 45 days. So, you know, they tired of being on that bus with each other. And what ends up happening is that independent, what Epic, when it fired her, it gave her a gift of a lifetime, because so many artists are trapped in terrible deals right now. And independent artists are making all the money. There's a guy called Russ. Does y'all know what I'm talking about? It's a white rapper, curly hair. His name is Russ. He's a white dude, white Latino dude. He makes a ton of money. If you ever want to be educated on digital real estate, or how to make internet money, or how to make long-term true fan money, go watch him. He talked about how he called his record label and he's independent. He called his manager. He said, go grab all my bank statements, stack them bad boys up, get them all together, get one of my tax returns. They run over to the bank. I need a line of credit for what? I'm putting on a tour. Well, how much is the tour going to cost? How many cities? What's the model? So he just had to kind of revert and put the model, say, hey, we're going to do a 30-day tour, 30 cities, 30 days, yada, yada, yada. This is how much it's going to cost. And then move the band and move the people. Well, once you hear him talk about it, the bank was like, no problem, here's the money. But you got to make that first payment in that 30 days, right? So this course, the tour was a success, but it took him putting his own money up to do so, to make it work. And that's what a lot of independent artists are realizing. The money that comes from touring is their real money. All the royalties, they barely own their own music, right? And so that's why you hear all these artists making these bad deals or in bad situations, because they're getting some money and they just want to stunt, look good, and artists and sing. But really the true money is in the business and running things. And so it was great to support her and buy a shirt and, support the music, because I realized, even though she may not see it as a beautiful thing that I'm independent, I can do whatever I want, that's where the world was going, right? Period. So the whole point of me telling you that part about Morgan James is Pace Mobley, if he's got 5,000 students, I just want you to wrap your head around this. He got 5,000 students that paid him $8 grand. That's $40 million. That's part of where all his real estate comes from, right? And then when he does partnerships and deals with those students, that's where part of his real estate and money comes from, right? This is no knock. This is a business model. That's why when I laugh when people make fun of people on YouTube for selling courses and having events, it's like, you're watching free internet and complaining a person is making money when they're producing the content, they're spending their money on cameras, they're spending their money to get this done. Okay, I already know where you are. You're lost, you're frustrated, you're stressed out financially, and you're pissed, and you want to come on YouTube and yell at somebody. Cool, hear you, cool, right? But if you look at the flip side, most people have these courses they're selling for $80. So if they sell $80 courses to 5,000 students, that's only 400 grand. That doesn't change their life to make them feel internet rich, but it doesn't change their life. Let's say same 5,000 students times $800 course. That's $4 million. That's a life changer, right? I've actually watched people personally make $40 million in this crazy 2019 to 2021. I've seen it, baby. Like more than one person, so much so that they have to downplay how much money they actually made off these courses. And also the market has changed. This is the part nobody wants to talk about. The market has changed. We had a lot of people that needed to be skilled up. Let's just put it this way, right? And this is a common thing. I'll get on the phone, I know about trucking, or I know about credit, or I know about this, or I know about that. And I go, okay, well, how you know? I took a course. Have you done anything with it? No. Okay, so you just know. You don't really know because you didn't do anything. You didn't own a business. You're not running a company. You didn't skin your knee. You didn't go fight in the octagon cage. So you're stressed out because you know a lot, but you're not implementing any of it. That's why you're stressed out. So when you hear people selling courses or books, you get mad because you're hearing money and you think you know, like I know some things, but you're not implementing, right? Right. I told somebody the other day they wanted to be an artist, and I said, listen, would it be so bad if you just performed every Saturday night for the rest of the year? Well, Ericka, let's just go there. There's 33, well, today's Friday, so messes it up, but I talked to them earlier this week. 33 Saturdays, and there's 33 Fridays for the rest of the year. You're telling me if you perform as an artist for at least 30 of those Saturdays, you feel like you lost something? See, this is where people get kind of confused on if they have to take a job as a business owner or they don't love. They're not really truly calculating how many Saturdays are truly available to them to perform and actually do their craft, right? And so I'll keep going into that. But a lot of real estate has opportunities in business and jobs. And so you saw a lot of people jump into wholesaling because it was easy and they didn't have any money and they didn't have any credit. Now, let me just say this and I'll be nice. I've met people who've been bird dogging for years, right? They've always been helping somebody's real estate team, finding deals, calling people, knocking doors. And honest truth, if they were a salesperson, or they were a bigger level salesperson, they would have made millions over their career. But instead, they're riding around in a Tahoe with nice rims and telling people they do real estate and they don't own any rentals. That part of the game is dead. That's a dead game they're playing, and good luck to them. But again, you see the model where it's rent to own, build to rent, management, right? So if you can be smart enough to shift as the market shifts, there's plenty of work in real estate. Whether this guy talked about move out cleans. He would just call realtors all day long. That was his marketing ploy. He called realtors all day long, asking them about move out cleans. And he charged, I think, $300. And then eventually every month he was making anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 in move out cleans, because realtors knew who? Property managers. Property managers know realtors. Realtors know apartment complexes. People know. I mean, it's a game of network. And that's the thing people get really mad at. They think they're going to do everything offline and customers are just going to come to them organically. And it's like, look, you can do organic, it's just slow flow. Or you can put somebody on the phones and cut your learning time in half. Now, why are people obsessed with the quick turnaround, the quick flip, the big boy real estate? And it's because it costs money, right? Prime example, again, I love Jeff Seconder, I love Ravi Abubala. We've gone over this since 19, watching them and their, I've been like, salute to you, right? But imagine selling a course for $7,000 and 500 people sign up. That's $3.5 million, period. Taking that 3.5 million and turning it into 15, 35 million at that point, I'm not going to say it's too easy, but it's easier. If you tell me you start with 50,000 and we're going to get to 15 million, okay, that's going to take like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a leverage process. But if you have a company, you start a business, or you start an online course or a podcast or something, and you crack up $3 million, let's say you take half, take 3%, 3.5, just take 3. You took half off for marketing and ads and all that other stuff. You still could turn that 3 times 10 into $30 million. It depends on your speed. It depends on the vehicle. It depends on, is it real estate? What are you investing in? Right now, I know a couple young men who had a great run. Saw them on Bigger Pockets, saw them at tours, saw them all over the place. They took all that money and dumped it in Ohio. Now you're looking at them in Ohio. They got 3 apartments and a bunch of rentals all over Ohio, and they're steady and staying good. So part of like, oh, there's no money and this is all, you know, wholesalers don't make any money. Well, yeah, that wholesaling part's right up, but the other side, the management, the property management, the just owning properties right now, is still a good deal. And I'll tell you why. On the real estate side, let me stay focused, because I wrote lots of notes. Ryan Pieta. Everybody know who Ryan Pieta is? Put a 1 in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, that's okay. He's a Filipino guy, cool hair, he used to play baseball. He had the past 3 years, he had a run up on this YouTube. I'm talking about a run up on this YouTube. And it's not the YouTube that carried him. He flipped 500 houses, but he had a staff, a team, all these people calling, wholesaling all the time. And what really made it for him was the $20,000 he spent on TV ads, right? So now all of a sudden he's switching gears. Now, what do I mean he's switching gears? I think I've told y'all about this before, and I'll do a walk up again of it. But Ryan is now starting a fund that's just going to focus on single family housing. And not only single family housing, he's going to create a management company. Now, why am I kind of smirking? Why am I kind of laughing? Because this is the oldest 101 in the books of books. I can go to any little small country town and find me 5 to 10 of the wealthiest families in town, and they'll own 50 rentals and the management company. Well, not only do they own the 50 rentals and the management company, they also own the lawn care company and the handyman business, right? So let's just bump it up for sake of argument to 100. And if you're from Fayetteville, you know what family, one of the 2 families I'm talking about. They got 100 family properties, right? And I'm gonna do a low number to keep it simple. Let's say every 100 of their properties rents out for $1,500 a month. Don't let me lose you here. $1,500 a month, all right? Times 100 properties. That's $150,000 a year. That's $1.8 million in rental income a year, right? That's before we know mortgages, before we know all the expenses. Now that same family that owns all those rentals, they also own the lawn care company in town that does a lot of commercial projects, but mostly their projects. Okay, they own a property management company that manages. Again, they own property, property management company manages the property, 2 different entities, right? And then they own a handyman business that does roofing sometimes, which is interesting. This is ghetto though, but you'll say, well, dang, like, why would they do all that? Plain and simple. Okay, 100. Let's get some simple math here. Okay, get this phone out, sorry. Simple math here. 100 yards times, let's just keep it simple. The bill is $100. We could do that just for the sake of argument, you guys. 100 yards times $100 per yard is $10,000 a month. I can tell you that right now. If I could do that with my own nephew, and he could have maybe 1 worker, and he paid a worker $3,000 a month, and he keeps 7, and out of the 7 he pays for gas and running around and all that stuff. I've seen it happen, right? The property management company is getting 10%. So what's 10% of 1.8 mil? 10%. That's 180,000. That could literally be ran at 100 units, preferably at 100 units. You want a full-time property manager and a full-time maintenance person and 1 full-time, like just a phone, just like the girl that works the phones. So you're saying 180,000, 10%. You're also talking about application fees, background check fees, late payments go to the property management company. These are things that, like, if you know any old town money, they have these 3 things set up. They have the property management company, their family's working it. They have the lawn care service. One of their sons owns it or sends people out to go cut the grasses, right? And then they'll own usually a handyman company, right? Because they're calling all these handymen to help these 100 properties if they ever have an issue, a drain, a leak, or whatever. They own all of it. Now, if the business does other business, the lawn care company go cuts other yards, great. But the main business is the fact that the grandpa has 100 units, right? Now, in this day and age, would I buy 100 1980s houses out of Fayetteville? I would not. I would not. Now, would the great answer be like, why just build an apartment building? That's going to cost you big loan money. And I'm telling y'all that as a person trying to get an apartment loan as we speak. You're talking about $14 million, depending on the price point per unit. And I'm talking about they're building units for $180 right now, brand new. $180,000 per unit, okay? So sometimes you're talking about a $14 to $18 million loan. So this is why you see people build a 16 unit, a 32 unit. See them build 4 fourplexes, all on the cul-de-sac. You see them build 10 duplexes on one street. They're going to get money. The tenants are going to stay longer. And eventually they get to those numbers they're looking for, right? Eventually they get to 100 units ownership, and their property management company that they own that's separate still makes money. They make money. Everybody's making money and reducing the taxes along the way. Does that make sense? Put a 2 in the comments if it does. If you don't understand it, that's okay. I would love to put a diagram on this. I'll probably take a clip out here. Let me put a note in here, get Peter to put a clip out right here, the 28-second mark. Right here on this little space. I'm doing it for Peter right now. As soon as the whiteboard is Peter, I want you to put owned properties, arrow up, lawn care company, arrow up, property management. Okay. So Peter, do that when you see this video. Okay. Why does that matter? Why is Ryan Pierre telling you I'm going to own the management company and we're going to do this and we're going to start all over from scratch and I'm going to start it here in Las Vegas? He's already earned the name. He's already owned the wealth. He's already been running ads there. So him buy some old properties, that's fine. All right. I would recommend building them, the 100 units. Why would I recommend building them? Because you're going to have 25-year roofs, 20-year on the AC units, brand new floor, brand new plumbing. Any issues you're really going to have at your property management company is, is the pest control coming? Is the yard getting cut this week? Whatever, right? Very simple, more simple. So this is something Ryan, and this is not picking on him, but this is just textbook 101. If you've ever been from a small southern town or a northeastern town, there's very similar characteristics. There's always 1 or 2 families that run almost everything and own companies that way. So I hope I didn't lose y'all on that one. Hope that makes sense. The other one was back to course money. Yeah, that's what it was. Course money. Hold on a second. Let me check some of your comments because I know we're 30 minutes in. I know you don't want me. Okay, so I don't know what that person. They might just get put out. Okay. It's important to have a plan A and a plan B is for work for sometimes. So here's the thing: when it comes to plan A, like when we get on the phone with me or any of my affiliates, I always tell people to ask you, what's your short-term goals, what's your long-term goals? Because at the end of the day, if I'm helping you start a company, but your dream is always to retire and live in Florida, we're doing two different things. One's long, one's short, right? Gaining a skill set through the military is an option as well. This is true. I've learned some just want to vent. They really do. It's like every year when it's oh, my kids need haircuts and backpacks, and every year we're hoping the rappers and basketball players come give out turkeys and stupid shit. And I'm like, but you know your kid is gonna need a $50 backpack every August. What's $50? And y'all know I'll be petty. Y'all understand I'll be petty, but if there's 52 weeks in the year and your kid's school supply costs about 150 bucks, you just gotta save 34 cents a week. Yeah, I'm going there. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Actually, you just gotta save. Sorry, I apologize. You gotta save $2.88 a week. If your kid every August is gonna spend about $150 for a haircut, a backpack, and some school supplies, you gotta save $2.88 a week. How can we get you to save $2.88 a week? How can we get you at tax time when you get your tax refund to buy 3 backpacks, stick them in the closet in a box, hide them with some socks in there. Just close that up, tape it up, and when it's school time, open it up, act like a surprise for your kid. How can we get you to do that? I don't know. So yes, Russ, y'all know what I'm talking about? Perfect. So yes, Russ is a prime example of somebody who was like, "Wow, I'm gonna get out here and give y'all all my time and my heart and my energy." Like Ice Cube has a great video. I hate to reference it because it's a little inappropriate, but he's like, it's like a pimp and a hoe. The music industry, you got people that want to be out on the street so bad. Oh, please, music industry, please, I want to be famous so bad. I'll do anything. I'll do any foul, nasty thing. I'll do whatever. Just put me out there. And the record label's like, oh, you will, huh? I got you out here, bitch. I'm about to put you to work. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to take all your money in the process. So it's even when I see basketball players who are making millions, and it's easy to spend millions, private planes and vacations and family, it never dawned on them very simply to how can I make my mom or my sisters and brothers become nurses or get their engineering degree or get their software degree, or it's really the family just wants to live off the hype and the fame of the parent of the kids. John Morant's parents, like, salute to them. They put the kids in private school in the nice suburbs, and the kids out here acting a fool, and the parents act like this is my retirement. It's time for me to party. Jay Morant is got the money now. We good? No, not good. Especially when he got his baby. His sister's now at Mississippi Valley State. If she's smart, she'll bang money off the NIL money. If you're any girl in any sports wanting to go to WNBA, I don't know why. Ain't no money over there. All the money is at the colleges. Eyes are on you. And the passions run high. And the memories from the boosters run high, right? So these are things we got to talk about. Yes, Tory Lanez, but also, what's his name with the glasses? Ryan Leslie, who, been teaching people. Currency. Oh, here's the funny part. I went to Currency's store, Jet Life, in New Orleans a couple weeks ago. I was just standing around the store like, don't know nothing about it. Have no idea what you're talking about. Don't even know the rapper. But my significant other knew it, and I'm just standing in the store like, this is nice. And he actually showed up right after we left, and I was like, why the bodyguard up in the front door like this? Because he was there. So yeah, exactly. Yep, like Tech Nine. Tech Nine is the most historically, right? Historically. Tory Lanez, yeah, yep, this is true. This is true. I ain't gonna front on y'all. Flyover is basically the rest of the country that the elites mock and don't pay attention to. Well, that's actually yes and a no. Most people, let's just go there. The most wealthy Jewish folks have a bunch of rentals in Florida and other rural parts of the country. Now the younger Jewish people are going over to Panama City and buying up half of Panama, right? Buying it up. money has to keep moving, right? You have to keep moving. You have to keep making it work for you. And so you want to live in New York, you want to live in California where it's really high cost of living. They're going to own properties and car washes. There's too many damn car washes, but it's a simple thing to get approved for. And that's why they keep building them. Exactly. So Todd, this is what I try to teach my digital real estate students. Grant Cardone said this thing when he was on stage and people got pissed. Some people did, some people didn't. He's like, I know when I'm dead and gone, y'all will take care of my daughters. And people were like, what? Huh? And what I said is pay attention. He's setting his daughters up to be public speakers. He's setting his daughters up so no matter where they go to college, no matter what they do, if they come back to public, my father was Grant Cardone. And this is what I learned as being a kid of a business owner, and this is how I've survived, and my comeback story or my arch up, all this stuff. I already see him setting them up for this future. But here's the deal: if Grant Cardone's got 1,000 people on a $97 repeat, like they be hitting me up, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm paying for it." $97 repeat. That's $97 million. Like, let's not sleep on the fact that his company does make about $40 or $50 million, right? The thing I showed you, Kev, on stage when he was complaining about the Instagram company that basically makes all their stories of Black people and rappers and incidents and crime. None of the staff is Black. None of the ownership is Black. It's just a company. It's just a business. And I know y'all want to hear this, but once they know you get all these eyes, always coming, always seeing your stuff, you can sell that to brands and companies, right? There is Aristotle Invest. He spends, I don't know the exact amount anymore because I'm not in people's certain groups anymore, but he spends a certain amount of money every week so that he gets 1 million eyes a week on his Instagram stories. 1 million a week. So that he has, he doesn't spend $1 million, but he gets 1 million eyes a week on his Instagram stories in his way of doing that, right? So if you get 1 million eyes on your stories a week, and let's say, just for sake of argument, and that we know some of the numbers, 100,000 people sign up for your $50 a month inner circle for stock market and crypto, and they learn, that basically what's popular. So 50 times 100,000, just go ahead and do that math, is $5 million. 50 times 100,000 people. And this is a monthly reoccurring. This ain't a one time a year. This is a monthly reoccurring. So let's just say, Ericka, what if he don't got 100,000 people to group yet? No problem. Let's bring it back down. Let's bring it back down to he has 10,000 people paying $50 a month to learn about stock market and be in the know. Okay, 50 times 10,000 is $500,000 a month. $500,000 a month. So do you not think it is now worth your money to make sure you get 1 million eyes a week on your Instagram channel? Do you not understand why some people on YouTube have like a one video that they juice up every quarter, and this is their video that just makes them money? Right here, Todd talking about his cousin who has 5 condos. After you have, and I'm gonna tell y'all this just as a person, an honest person, I have places that I visited. I will visit there every year for 2 weeks for the next 5 years foreseeably. Because me and my significant other, or me and my family, have decided. Our family goes to a beach house and rents 24-room, 24-bathroom house for like 20 grand. We've been doing this every year for like 7 years now. So we're not the only family that's always going to this house in a big old group. And there's several families all year long doing the same thing we're doing every year consecutively. So this is why I keep trying to get y'all to understand that once you have 5 condos, and let's say they got booked up really well the first year, booked up all the way, booked up. Don't you think you can send an email or message to people and say, oh no, we have some openings for these dates, right? You've got 1,000 emails and you got 365 days a year, right? But let's say you rent them out by the week. So that means you have 52 slots because you're renting the place out weekly. And really most people stay 2 weeks for themselves. So let's bring it back down to 50 weeks. And most people rent for a week. Out of those 1,000 people, you just need a 50 to say yes. Out of those 1,000 people, you just need 50 to say yes. Now, not only do you need them to say yes, you need them to love it so much that they come back every year. That they book up for next year early because they're scared of it being booked out. My family right now, as we speak, via family meeting, have already booked out June. for our family. Then we booked out March of next year for our family. Then we booked out December this year and December of next year for our family. And I remember my significant other, other people are like, y'all don't even know where y'all gonna be next year. But we do know our family always goes to the beach. So we will either be there or we won't. Like, simple as that. We'll either make time on our schedule and show up with our family and play cards and walk on the beach and enjoy our day, or we won't. Simple as that. Simple as that, right? And so when it comes to owning Airbnbs and vacation rentals, there are people on repeat every year anyway. So just 2 cents there real quick before I go on. Hope that made sense to y'all. I'm in Pace group. There you go. Edward Lacrosse, thank you for commenting. 10,000 people in his group. Now, at any given time, if I'm Pace Mobley, I say, listen, I want to partner on this one deal. I need $50,000. Somebody help us finish this new construction. What's going to happen? He's going to reach out to those 10,000 people and get what? Somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to, JB. This is why when I talked about the hubs and the internet hubs and the little, there's somebody y'all can show me on YouTube and it's like, he's got 1 million followers. I never heard of him. You know what I mean? Like, we all be in our own little hubs, and sometimes our hubs interact with each other. But this is why collaboration made such a big deal 2019 to 2022. This is why Jay Morrison's so salty about all the collabing that went on in Atlanta outside of him. Okay, just go in there. But at some point, you have to produce results. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling him, I'm not saying he ever gonna get his kind of reputation back. We don't have to. As long as let's really be honest, if Jay Morrison built 5 houses, new construction a year, and it profited $100,000, $200K per house, and every year he made like a good $500,000 to $1 million and split it with a couple of JV partners or 1 or 2 people off and on every year, and they could keep doing testimonial videos, it wouldn't matter because he's still doing what? Making money. See, what happened is people want the easy money. They want Porsche money or money with no work. Even if Aristotle invests his real estate, his stock market, crypto, I forgot what it's called, group meets. And I mean, you got to give people some meat. You got to give people some information. You got to hire some study folks on your team. You got to hire 1 or 2 girls or guys who are going to be out here putting out data, writing up reports. What you think Meet Kevin's doing? You think Meet Kevin comes up with all this information by himself, reading the news to y'all? No. Meet Kevin got a team full of people over there. Nah, read this. No, do this. Here, put this together. Hey, put this up. Okay, do this stock market pitch. That's how those shows get made, right? Everybody can't be Ericka Williams and just do it on top of their head. Everybody ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't me. You know what I mean? So again, congrats, Edward, on that. Did you see it? Hey, listen, I'm in an auto trader group. Again, I'm in a place right now where I'm just making as much money as possible and then sliding the money off into 1 or 2 things that make sense. Like, okay, this auto trading group, trading like politicians, makes sense. That's it. The other thing that makes sense is new construction property. Why? No matter what you say, I either can create a portfolio of 100 houses I rent out myself. Because really, most real estate investors, if you really learn from the big guys, they make their money on the cash out refi. All right, all these guys have a business, maybe a handy, like prime example, one of the guys I'm gonna use to teach at one of my fall events coming up. He owns multiple companies. He takes the money off the company and builds something. Cash. So then when he wants to refi, the bank's like, oh, no lines, no liens. Oh yeah, whatever you want, sir. How much money do you want? He's having a different conversation than these young guys who are wholesaling a property that ain't got no equity in it, trying to flip stuff. So Pace Mobley, and that's P-A-C. Let me see. I wrote Pace name down somewhere. M-O-R-B-Y. I may be saying it terribly. Sorry, I apologize. Exactly. Ericka, you, Diamond Eli from What Happened to Common Sense channel should do a symposium or something. I've seen some of his videos. He does good commentary. He's a New Yorker. There's something about the New York Atlanta triangle that I'm not in. And I know I'm not in it. And I'm okay with that. Some people requested your girl make a deal early in the game and it just didn't happen. So I didn't make no deal. Now here's the difference. Because I know what I have in this channel. Does that make sense? It's easier for me, trying to be careful how I say this. It's easier for me right now to go take 20, 30K, run a couple of videos up real big to draw eyes, than go do a bunch of collaborations. Because a bunch of collaborations would require everybody to, one, check their ego, two, be realistic. Every time I've done collaborations with people, they're like, oh, look how great I am. I'm like, they only came to you because of my audience. Like, check yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's some things though, but there's plenty of people out here that are great quality that could be great. Thank you. There you go. Ray Alexander is exactly saying what I want to say. It's time to be a contrarian. When everybody else is moving to a hot spot, then you move to a different area. When everybody moves to the hot spot, price go up. When I saw at Grant Cardone's 10X, Catherine Wood said, I'm moving to St. Petersburg, Florida, because it's going to be the next Austin. And then I went on Kosher Money, and a grandma in her 80s in New York in a Jewish community is like, you know, you should go where land is cheap and you can invest your money, like Tampa. Right? That's that ding, 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 ding. Like, there are people who just on the pulse, fingers on the pulse, know where the puck is moving. By the time you hear about it, it's a little late, right? Remember when all of a sudden everybody wanted to do wholesaling? Just like tax lien, everybody wanted to do tax lien. Everybody want to do flipping. Everybody want to do, you laugh because by the time you hear about it and you're up on it, that means the puck has moved. By the time I met 3 or 4 people talk about funding, I could have told you 2 years ago, I had already sat in a whole workshop, a whole weekend workshop talking about how to have a funding company. It was a part of Ryan Stewman's teaching course for nothing, basically, years ago. Basically, you're a middleman. Like when I came up with the word middleman for millions, I think y'all thought I just talked about service businesses, but it applies to so many more. And I'm thinking about putting a recap of what I learned in that course. I'm not sure. It might help, it might not help, but people get lost in the fact that a lot of this stuff is just planning. And it's frustrating because there was a quote yesterday, I thought it was funny. It was like, your kid's always talking to you and you're like, shut up, kid, I'm trying to think. And most of your parents are frustrated because they don't have time to think. But really, we clog ourselves up with Starbucks and coffee and sodas and bad food. And so now we're like, jittery, and we can't think, right? We can't sit down and think, because truthfully, thinking means sitting out with a piece of paper and charting out where you want to go. Why do people not do this? Because it makes them sad to look at exact numbers, look exactly where their credit score is, what is their exact debt, what's the game plan? Because when you really talk to people, and somebody's like, well, I had 20K debt on my credit cards. I said, well, what's stopping you from putting an extra $1,000 a month on them? Well, I don't have the money. Well, have you asked for a raise? Have you looked for part-time work? Have you Ubered, right? You can just Uber 1 weekend a month and put that on your credit card for the rest of the year. Oh, I mean, there's got to be an easier way. Why can't I just get another credit card and transfer the balance? And I'm like, because you proved yourself unworthy, baby. These companies don't have to give you anything. Now, is there a million ways to get to $1 million line of credit? For sure. That's a different conversation. Very interesting, Watson. Break down. Same thing with brokers, trash. Listen, exactly. Broker 205, REO brokers do the same thing. Trash outs, evictions, handyman, all friends and family of REO agents, multiple streams of income off one listing. Listen, right now, I reached out to 3 of the guys who used to cut my grass, to bore my windows up, do some other stuff in Detroit. Them 3 dudes are, oh my God, I'm neck deep in grass this week. Can I do it next week or the week after? What? But you got to realize they're always hitting up real estate agents. So then I go on, like I've taught y'all so many times in my groups. I went in my Facebook groups. I went to 4 Facebook groups today. I posted my real estate number. I said, text me for lawn care. I'm ready to go. Paid can be this weekend. Where you at? What's good? Must send pictures, right? And hold on a second. Boy, people worrying me today. And so what's that allowed? That means people are tagging the mess out of my phone, right? Um, okay, so people tagging the mess out of my phone. But what does that do? First thing happened is I had 188, about 188, 190 people message me off that post in those different Facebook groups. And I literally scraped all the data with my Mondo chat. I took the Mondo chat data, gave it to my BAs, told them message every single person with the address and when's the quickest they can go. And they need to show pictures before and after. Because this is a big thing. People think they slick. Oh, I already cut. Send me some pictures. You gotta send me pictures before you cut it and after you cut it. Oh, all that for $50, $100. Yeah. Everybody's got a phone. Your workers got a phone. You got a phone. Even if they got flip phones, somebody got a phone enough to take a picture. You dig what I'm saying? People think they're slick. But usually what happens is one guy goes, oh, I saw your door needed new locks. I got a friend, he do locks. I saw your fence needs this. I got a friend that does fences. Oh, I saw this. I got a friend that boards windows. And what ends up happening is that allows you that opportunity to build your Rolodex of who and how and where you can work with people. So I had one guy go to my property. Oh, I'm gonna cut it for 100. Oh, this property needs like $300. I look up, he's at the next door neighbor house. I'm like, that's not my house. Take the right picture. This is the property. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're trying to make some money cutting the wrong yard. That ain't gonna work for me. So again, one thing, dig deep, you can make a ton of money. I know people right now with 10 rentals that are wealthier than most people. They got equity all over the place. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's a business. That's all it is. It's a business. Ryan Leslie, very smart. I'm not gonna lie to you, I need to watch it again. I probably done missed it. Bingo, I'm hitting Panama when I leave Mexico. Enjoy yourself. Billy Graham and Jimmy Swaggart did the same thing. My kids, exactly. If you look at every Kenneth Copeland, Paula White, now her kids ain't really doing that. What her son-in-law is. Paula White, any of these major, TD Jake's daughter taking over everything while he go do building houses and stuff. All these people, they pretty much invest the company to the kids. Only person they ain't work with, Kurt Franklin. His kids hate him. So that's another conversation, but we're gonna leave that alone. I visited Costa Rica, met any expats that own the business or a business out there. Definitely one of the goals to get a rental out there, for sure. Chicago, Dallas. I mean, Dallas is winning. Like, I mean, at the Texas hot race of Houston, Dallas, Austin, Dallas is winning, y'all. Some of my projects will be in Dallas area, Dallas first, but that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not ready for that though. Yep, I be having trips planned a year in advance. Heck yeah. I mean, this is what y'all don't understand. I got this right here. I'm not gonna show you this, but this is my calendar. See, like like this. It has weekly and monthly, and I don't come to office without it because literally I busted out 3 business meetings where somebody said, "Hey, can I meet you this day?" I go look in the calendar. I go flip. Okay, hey, the 2nd of September we're doing this. In Dallas. Are you going to be available? Yes, we're going to be available. Okay, September 9th, we're going to be at this event. Oh, okay. September 30th. Okay, let me flip over here. November, what date? Oh, that date? No, we're not good for that date. December, what? 2016? Okay, December 16th, we're going to be doing this. Right? Now, if I flip this, because this has the next year into it too as well, just being honest, I already have March of next year. I already have April of next year. I have parts of February planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even, and then I can look back on this year and somebody says, oh, this happened on this date. I go back, oh, what date? Let me look. Oh, yeah, no, that didn't happen on that date. Because I have a notebook, because I keep a calendar. People think I'm being like super anal retentive, and I'm not one of those people that are like type A, gotta know every date, every hour, every minute. But I literally wake up every day, check all my accounts, once a week, sometimes twice, check my credit reports, because when I'm inside getting ready to do a round of funding, I know what I need. I know what I don't need, right? I know I need to check my QuickBooks. I know I need to get ready. I know I need to look at, okay, what are the current hottest banks that are fighting? Because banks are fighting right now for your competition. Trust me, if you're in my funding course and you watched all 4 live streams, you were lucky, because we added like 5 more banks to that list, and your girl done went through and hit them all. But that's another conversation we'll do further inside, maybe one of the courses on live. Oh, Ryan Pieta, he has a look to him. He has an energy. And this is what people have to understand is like, once you, I'm going to say this and it sounds so terrible. If Ryan, what's his name that everybody's mad at right now? Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison goes out and does 2 or 3 projects, simple ones, where he JVs with people and they go do a whole testimonial. He could raise more money. People's brains are so forgetful. If Dr. Umar, and I told y'all this, he bought that building and he painted it. And I think it's got new windows. People are already ready to give him some more money. School ain't been open in 10 years. People still ready to give him some money. If he goes and open a daycare right now and enrolls 50 kids in the daycare and takes a picture, blurs the kids' faces, and they're all holding up a little certificate or something, people will give Dr. Umar money right this moment. People don't want to do the work. They just want to send the money to somebody and make the money come back. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'll be 55 in September, so I'm old head. I love to learn from the young. What is that? Sorry. I get happy and smile when I see Ericka going to pinch her cheeks one day. Don't pinch me, no. Trying to thin them out. But that's the thing. Just learn and you pick it up and you move. If he bought 1 house a year during the best time, make money instead of scam. I can't. And I hate the word scam at this point, because y'all abuse it and use it for everything. It gets ridiculous. Okay, so I got one more part I was going to tell you. A recap on Linden, that would be great. 100-year plan. Listen, the Chinese and Russia got 100-year plans. You know what I'm saying? I know, right? I was like, neck deep. Detroit people, what up, though? They sent me that part. Mr. Gray, go head over to the classyclimbers.com, and you can pick up and purchase to be a into the private Facebook group for the Classy Climb Accountability Group. Every other group we have, the digital real estate group, the other groups, they're all a part of courses. If you're in the course, you get access to it. If you have not got access and you're in a course to the Facebook group, message us at admin.classyclimberstx.com. Baby, it takes 2 seconds to take this. I'm talking about 2 seconds, right? I found out I got another squatter, y'all. I just got pre-approved for a home loan. Congratulations, Will Vaughn. All right, I was doing little side jobs, and that's how this lady wanted me to do. Send a pic, she mailed the check. That was the first time I had checks just laying around on my dresser. Congratulations. I don't mention who. Oh, listen, the race is not with San Antonio. I don't care what y'all say. Like, they're building a new stadium, doing some new stuff there, but the race is Dallas, Houston, and Austin. Period. San Antonio is the leftover town where people go because they need a cheap place to live. Les Brown has his daughter taking over his business. Yes, this is exactly prime example. Room of Crypto, I would just hit the console links, because we're really not taking on investors for like anything. Like, the only thing I work with people right now is like a straight JV deal. Like, here's my half, here's your half. We're building a new construction house. We're gonna sell it or refinance it or whatever at the end of it. That's it. So you can email our admin as well. admin@classyclimbtx.com. But thank you for the super chat. NYC just another toll inside Midtown Manhattan, entering going south 60th Street. More money they want to juice from New Yorkers. Man, that's crazy. So addressing this quickly, there's over 330 or something to that effect that were on the we might fail scale. And so the government's pretending like, what? Who? Like a lot of these small banks now have to compete really hard. And this is the way they're complete. I'm going to give you loan products, credit cards, loan on your house, loan on your rental property, loan on your construction loan. Because now I can go in front of the Congress or whoever and say, look, I got 1 million new people in my bank. And I just gave them all loans for their construction, their home, their mortgage. We can't fail. We just gave people all this money. And if you pay attention, that's what's happening right now. If you look up Wealthfront and Capital One and Frost Bank and PNC, and I can name 57 banks who are all giving 4.7% returns on CDs and banking money market accounts. Why is that? Because they're actively recruiting. Because most people are lazy. Let's just go there. They start at one bank, they're going to stay there. Like even in my classes, when I talk to people, I say, why are you still at that bank? They ain't giving you no money. Banking logins, my debit card, and the ATMs are everywhere, Ericka. I'm like, but they're not giving you no money. Leave. Let it go. That's all you got to do is let it go. I have 2 more things on this paper. Okay. Selling trade line. Listen, Pyramid Talk I did. I had Lane Kowalski on my channel talking about trade lines. Also, I still have his course on there somewhere. But yeah, we did that one. U.S. Bank, Truist. Yeah, Truist is the merger. Truist is the merger between SunTrust and BB&T. And U.S. Bank, Truist, and PNC are fighting hard to give you some money because they need to stay in the running. I'll just put it like that. Discover, like pretty much every single bank you can think of right now has a savings account. American Express has a savings account. SoFi is loaning a lot of money. Prosper is loaning a lot of money. A lot of these fintechs are loaning a lot of money. And that's Stripe, that's, you name it, Square, any of them really. Plastic, Mellow. They can be, but I've noticed Navy Federal giving a lot of people 40K personal loan. I'd be like, what are y'all writing on your application? Okay. Okay, so last other part, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap this up because I know it's going a little long. People ask about speed of velocity, right? Okay. Where's it at? Okay. I think I talked about that a little bit. I talked about Facebook ads. I talked about Aristotle running ads, of course, for sure. I think I did. So why did I bring him up? Why did I talk about that in perspective of like people talking about courses? Is look at Frank Kerr. Frank Kerr is your best example of this whole thing, right? Frank Kerr is your best example. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it up there. Frank Kerr is your best example. Frank Kerr would run 90-day ads. Come in, and he would spend like $90,000. You see him everywhere. People would sign up, and he would just disappear. Now, Frank Kerr would do this 4 times a year: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Now, people say, well, why would he do that? Because Frank Kerr this is before he did big numbers, but on average, he spent $90,000 and make $250,000 back. Now, you guys say, man, I don't know if that's great. Let's just go like this. You make 250 times 4. That's $1 million. Do you think your bank is going to be more friendly to you? Do you think your bank wants to work with you, knowing they know every year, like clockwork, every quarter, you're going to get a good 250K lump sum in the account? They know it. This is just a thing Frank Kerr used to do, right? Speed and velocity. And I'm pretty sure the numbers probably got jacked up even more where he's doing like, 50, 180,000 in ads in 90 days. And maybe $500,000 in return, right? Like, there's a way people do this. And why is this important? If you've noticed, Budweiser, Ford, all these companies, even Target at times, is being a little weird, little trans conversations, killing their own marketing budgets. And this will allow creators on these different platforms more money. Why is it going to allow more money? Because people want to connect. Prime example, I'll use an example as well, is Max Tuning. Max Tuning, when he first started Sour Strips, sent out 400 gift boxes a week to influencers. Let me say that again, 400 gift boxes a week to influencers. So let's just do the math on it. 400 boxes a week. He did it for like a year. Let's just do this like this. 400 times 52 weeks a year. That's 20,800 boxes of candy he gave out. Now, what did that allow? That deployed to all these influencers, and they did what? They all talked about it at the same time. Look at the goodie box I got. Now, they may not all mentioned it at the same week, same day, same time, but in general, they definitely did what? They mentioned it. So every one of those people have audiences. Let's just go there. 20,800 times, let's just say 100 people. 100 people. That's 2 million people exposed to Sour Strips. Let's say 1,000 people in their audience. That's 20 million people exposed to Sour Strips. Now, do you understand why Sour Strips blew up so fast? And why Netflix and LA producers, CBS News producers are calling your girl and other people online? Because they know you're watching, they know you're looking for information. They're trying to figure out, how can I convert those views to TV, those views to YouTube, those views to Netflix. Netflix is killing the game. Everybody was mad at Netflix, oh, they losing money. They not. Netflix literally has produced another 150 new movies this year. Same thing with Lifetime Movie Network. Lifetime Movie Network, Hallmark Movie Network, they put those actors under 5 movie gigs, like literally, like when they come sign a contract to work at Lifetime or the Christian channel, Hallmark channel, they literally lock them in 3 to 5 different contracts, because then they know what that person needs to spend the next year on their Instagram. I'm in this movie on Hallmark. I'm in this movie on Hallmark. Come watch my movie on Hallmark. Yeah, let's just go there. Let's just go there. Let's say there's 20,000 ladies. Let's be honest. Let's go 2 million. Just for big bucks. Big bucks, no whammies. 2 million ladies following all these various stars online, excited to see their Hallmark movies. They got to pay that $12.99 to keep that Hallmark on. That's a month. A month. 2 million ladies. I'm just, for the sake of argument, $12.99 a month. That's 25 million a month, almost 26 million a month. Hallmark will pull in 26 million a month times 12. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. That's $311 million. Hallmark will pull in if those 2 million ladies keep paying their subscription bill. You think Hallmark can make some movies out of that? You think Walmart can pay? You think Hallmark can keep pushing some movies out of that? Let's even go crazy. Let's say it's 5 million Americans out of all these 330 million Americans paying $12.99 to Hallmark. That's 64 million a month. That's 779 million a year. Come on, man. Come on. That's almost $1 billion company selling you Christmas movies and fall in love movies. Lifetime selling you murder your husband movies, but Hallmark selling you fall in love in a small town movies. They giving people what they want. They're giving them what they want, and I respect it. Okay, I'm just going through this breakdown to get you to understand. When I talk about speed and velocity, and a guy or girl spending $1,000 a week on Instagram ads, or spending 150 to 250 a day on Facebook ads, which comes out to $4,500, maybe $7,500 a month. Times 10, if you 10x that, let's say they make 45,000 off of that 5K spend. Is that worth it? Because every month in business ain't gonna be the same, of course not. But paid traffic keeps it more consistent. So what's my last one? Okay, my last one on here is yeah. So prime example of a $1 million business broken into 4, right? Prime example, I'll give an easy one. Sean Coakley out of Houston, right? Now, why am I using him as an example? He has the Ericka power sleeves. He used to just make knee sleeves. Now he's got shorts. Now he's got shirts. Not my cup of tea clothes, but I get it, right? And so he does launches, and they're $1 million launches. He has the YouTube channel. He gets tired of doing it because right now he's single, broke up with his girl, bought a new house. But he bought a house in a neighborhood, new construction. This one is currently 2, right? But the one before that, he bought it for like, was it $500,000? And it went up to like $980,000. So he almost doubled in Houston, Texas, and sold that house. I think he had split it with the girl, but that's a whole other conversation. So it's got the YouTube making money. The YouTube drives the people to what? The NACA, the sports clothing. Then it drives them to what his new thing, his supplement company. Okay. Then it drives them to what? Another thing. So he's got 4 businesses in one. Let's just say affiliates is the 4th one. Now let's say each business makes $250K. This is a small number, but it's for the sake of argument. His, of course, makes millions, but for the sake of argument, we're going to do $250, right? So let's say the YouTube pays him out $250, the supplement company pays him $250 a year, the affiliate marketing $250 a year, and the NACA knee sleeves is $250 a year, right? That's a $1 million business. They're all different businesses on paper, for sure, bank accounts, but it's really one business divided in 4. Now, let's say he has 2 employees, right? The film guy and the person who packs all the supplements and packs all the stuff, right? So let's say you pay both those people $50K. That's $100K from it, right? Now, if you're smart, you're going to have 1 accountant, 1 social media person, 1 general operator, and 2 phone ladies. What would happen the next year if he had all that staff and kept them employed? Those numbers are going to, if not double, triple. So instead of it making $1 million that first year, that second and third and fourth year, it's going to make $6, $7, $8 million. Now people say, well, Ericka, how do you know? I don't know. I mean, I've been in business a long time. My business don't be that high for me. And this is why my biggest thing to you is you don't have staff and you refuse to run ads. So how can you know? Right? When I made a joke about Pearly Things, I'm like, Pearly Things got 8 to 10 people behind the scenes chopping up clips all day. Just all day. I sent my one editor 100 clips he's got to chop for the next 3 weeks. It's going to take him a minute, but he's going to do it, right? But when you have that speed and that velocity to apply pressure, that's why you see these people in a 2 to 5 year window doing what would really take a lot of people 10 years to do. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that made sense. I know it's a lot of numbers I'm throwing on here, but I hope you guys will keep it up. But even the same, even if I had a handyman business, and I had maybe a painting company again, I would have 1 office because I'd have the front desk girl working multiple phone lines. Keep it simple, right? I'd have 1 accountant that would cover most of the businesses. I'd have 1 social media person that operated all the social medias and the testimonials and the reviews from customers and clients. I mean, again, once you start one and you really see how it is to run it, you'll understand when you meet people who, the guys I showed you from a couple videos ago, they own a solar company, a roofing company, and a wholesaling company, right? So what you got? You got 3 different companies. The roofing and the solar is basically the same. You send the guys out to go and give a free estimate. Oh, I don't want solar. Oh man, but you need some roof work. I got some roof guys I can refer you to. That 1 salesperson can do referrals from either side of the company. Either side of the company. So really, you'll have a smaller amount of salespeople. You have a smaller amount of team. You just got to run the traffic. And that's why Ryan P. and all these people are like, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of single family homes and have a management company. Because they're just creating multiple businesses in one entity and profiting from it, right? And lowering their taxes. But that's a whole nother conversation. So let me just finish off the comments. I know it's going a little long and keep it rolling. Did the audio cut out? No, the audio look is still on. I love the Black Xmas. It do. Twinkle toes. For sure, anytime. So let me just be very clear, Tanya. This is a clear message. I hope Peter cut this. This is going to be a little ad right here. I'm going to make this an ad right. Okay. Hope y'all ready for this. Okay. Toya says, Which course do you suggest if interested in getting into real estate investing or new construction? Well, Toya, the first thing I would say is, where is your credit score at currently and what is your cash reserves at? Depending on where you're at, you could start today by looking for a land lot to purchase and taking the next steps. My next recommendation to you is going to be the funding course so that you can get yourself where you need to be credit wise. You can also work with one of our affiliates who does credit repair. Number three, we have events about 4 times a year, not right this moment, but coming up every year for the next couple of years on building new construction and how to get into new construction. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, the average price of those events, those conferences are going to be $2,500, $2,000 to maybe $4,000 for what you're going to learn, how you're going to get in place, and the lending partners you'll have in position. Why is it those costs? Because truly the cost of construction for some duplexes out here are going to be $220,000 out of pocket. Either you're going to have to get it from a loan, get it from a hard money lender, or private money, or you're going to have to work with people or credit cards. This is why. But if you're serious about learning real estate investing or new construction, you can either book a call with me and my team, or you can grab the funding course, which has 4 different courses in it, lots of live training, and to get you on your path to where you need to be financially. Enjoy. And click. Right, so that's that. Let me see what else. Real quick. I don't have anything about international banks, Charles. So anyway, you guys, this is your girl Ericka coming through. I hope that was helpful. I hope that made a lot of sense to y'all. There's 242 people here. If you guys can hit the like button before you leave, or drop a 1 in the comments so I'll let you know that you enjoyed our talk today. I will probably be cutting this video up a couple bits because there is a ton of good information in here. But at the end of the day, the best thing I can recommend to a lot of you is know your exact credit score, know how much funding you have available to you, and know where you can go next. If you don't know those numbers, if I call you on the phone today and I say, what's your credit score? How many inquiries do you have? How much cash do you have in the bank? And you don't know those numbers, you're not ready. Because the first step in all this business talk and business credit talk and internet talk is knowing your own position, knowing where you are financially, knowing how ready you are, and knowing what's the true timeline for what you want. Okay, I'm going to do this in 6 months. I'm going to do this in a year. I've seen people go from 5 rentals to 50 units in 2 years. I've seen people do it. It just depends on where you are in life and what's your stage. You can make more money than some of these people with 50 units with 10 units. So don't get it twisted, but knowing where you are allows you to make a decision, right? If you don't tell me like, oh, I want to start courses and sell a bunch of courses, that business model has changed because the market has changed. If you're wanting to sell courses, you're going to have to run paid traffic. I know there's people who think, no, Ericka, you tell me in the course. I tell you in the course, either run paid traffic or have 150 different interviews you're going to do over the course of the year to expose yourself to other people's audiences. That means you're going to have to collab with a lot of people, work with a lot of people, and move yourself around in the space. You may not want to do that. So this is your girl, Ericka, Classy Clown Blog. I hope this was helpful. Later.